Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Buckeye Roast here with your guy Ron James, and I am joined by a special guest this morning, Cleveland Mike. Mike, how you doing?
Hanging tough, man. You know, it's wet, it's rainy, it's crazy out here, man, but it's still a beautiful day, man. Thanks for
Right,
having me
right.
on.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate you joining us. We've had a crazy morning. I mean, I woke up. Q is in Seattle. That is why Mike is filling in. He is out of town for a work trip. I woke up a little late, was going to start a show, and we were planning for 9, and we were getting ready to start the studio, and I hear a little ding, and it was a meeting that I was not aware of that I had for work super early this morning. I normally don't have them this early, so we had to push the show back, but man, we are here, and we got a ton to talk about. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Our guy T Spivvy, that's T Spivvy, was in here first, was the first one in the chat's been hanging out, chatting, giving the Michigan fans hell for the last 30 minutes, man. Whole lot going on in the chat, but man, we got to jump right into it. You guys saw the cover. We got a scandal at Michigan, man, and it feels like we're getting news, not news, pieces of information every day, and it does not look good for the Piss Skunks. I just want to get your initial thoughts, man, because I have been riding high since this scandal has been announced, because anything bad for Michigan is good for me. People say, "Oh man, do you want both teams to be undefeated when you guys play at the end of the year?" Fuck no. I hope they lose every single game, every
Exactly.
weekend. I'm rooting against them. I want bad things, bro. I'm a Steelers fan. I root against the Lions because I know a lot of Michigan fans like them. Like, I
Yeah.
just want nothing but bad things for Michigan fans. And man, to see this happen, especially in a scandal in the NCAA that's like victimless as far as like regular people. Like, yes, they cheated, and there's plenty of people that may have been impacted by this, but it's not like one of those scandals that you got to feel bad about. It's not Baylor, it's not Penn State. It's these guys were cheating. No one got hurt, and man, can we talk about this? And I just want to get your thoughts, Mike. Initial thoughts from hearing the story and where we're at today.
Man, my initial thoughts was, no way, this just happened, bro. No way, no way. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, this just the NCAA coming after him, and now with the information that's just been coming out, it explains a lot, Ron, does it not? I mean, it explains a lot, man. I mean, why the teams you not the first thing I thought about is, damn, the teams you didn't scout, you threw 3 picks against. I mean, that was my initial thought. So
I see in the chat people calling it a nothing burger, and we know you guys love burgers up there, so I would imagine maybe. But man, it's just crazy all the things that we've seen come out. It's just crazy the way the goalposts have moved. First, it was, oh, he's a low level staffer. He doesn't even really steal signs. He's a recruiting guy. I don't know what's going on. More information comes out. Well, he's a rogue guy. No one's working with him. Like, he must have went off on his own. There's no way Harbaugh knew about it. Blah 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 blah.
he doesn't know
Then
him
the
like
next
that.
day, we're seeing photos. Connor Stallions is on the sideline holding the coordinator's pocket during the game. I mean, he couldn't be any possibly closer during these games. He's giving calls. I was on the phone with Chris Drew yesterday, and I was like, man, you got to ask Zach.
Okay, I don't
Who
know if
could
we lost Ron right there, but yeah, I mean, honestly, Connor Stallions is going crazy out here with what he's doing. Like Ron was saying, you see him on the sideline holding laminate, plays up. Like, it looks like you can see people making gestures on there. Obviously, it's not close enough to read the words, but man, I mean, I started asking my contacts, like, who have been on college sidelines, who have played college football. Do y'all have laminate signals and signs? Everybody said no, but this is the only fan base that I heard that this is a normal thing. So,
am I good?
yeah, you're good now.
Where'd I cut out?
You could out going in the counter stallions in the coordinator's back pocket, and
Oh yeah, man.
yeah,
I mean, you see him standing on the sidelines, practically holding their pocket. He's so close. I asked Chris Drew, I'm like, how many people do you think can talk to Urban from the time the team warms up till the end of the game? Like, who is allowed to just talk to the coordinator in between plays? A low-level staffer? I'm not hearing that. It's bullshit, and it's crazy the amount of like denial these Michigan fans are in. Because at what point do you admit, like, okay, enough is enough. Like, this is
yeah,
getting ridiculous. Like, how can you look at the evidence in front of you? And I offer any Michigan fan in here to tell me in the chat why you believe this isn't going to result in anything. Because I mean, I'm seeing reports that Harbaugh may have coached his last game. Could we
yeah.
see Michigan not finish the season? What do you think should be the punishment for the rest of the season, at least in regards to what's going on here?
Well, I did see like the NCAA is trying not to punish the kids, right? That's what their goal is to not punish them. But it goes back to Friday, Ron, because me and you talked about this, and we tried to have a civil conversation talking to other people. The Big Ten, what they put out, that statement last week, Friday, it rung loudly. And if anyone has ever read in between lines or know how to read political BS and things like that, they were serious about the integrity of this game. And so how do you protect the integrity of this game? You can't tell me that this guy, we see evidence, there's video evidence of him being around the head coach during these, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator. You have to fire and terminate both of them. The Big Ten, if the team up north won't do it, Big Ten step up and you suspend them indefinitely. You know, something you have to, and like you said, you're talking about Vegas. People put money on these games. And then
I,
all of a sudden, you know exactly where the play is going. I told people in our space, Ron, I told them our local beat loves Ohio State. They cater to them a lot. They're going to go in the archives of 2021 and 2022 and find stuff. And what did you see Channel 10 News do? Come out the next morning after we say that with a video of zoomed in on Connor Stallions looking at Ohio State sideline signals and then making the adjustments. And the whole team was doing it. So it's like at first people were saying the players didn't know. And I was one of those saying the players couldn't have known, but
It's crazy the way the Michigan beat is carrying the team's water right now, because Ohio State's beat, while they do defend the coaches and protect them for the most part, they will bring down the hammer if they have to. And if there's a scandal, bro, they're getting the clicks, I promise you. So the fact that they're just so willing to cover this up, I mean, you see that Zach still has beef to this day with people that worked on the beat with the way that they handled that situation and how quick they were to jump on him in that scenario. It's just crazy to watch how willing they are to just, I guess, act like everything's fine. But I mean, I just don't know as a fan how you can feel comfortable with where we are right now today in this scandal. I want to look at some of the things in the chat. They said college football nerds had a very insightful one, a coverage of this. Some people are saying Michigan fans and the beat are spinning this in a way that they may not get in trouble for this. And I'm just like, I don't know what loopholes you're getting through, or think that like this is not the tax code, buddy. I don't know what type of loopholes you think there
right.
are in the NCAA, but I do not think you're getting around it. And we saw Zach Smith tweet yesterday, where is Matt Weiss? You see people in the chat bringing up his name, and I'm not going to dive into it, but I am going to suggest that you guys go out there and see some of the things that have been alleged about Matt Weiss and why it is so hard to find him. And a completely unrelated question, Mike, and you know what I mean, reckless speculation. If you were to commit a federal crime on behalf of one of your teams to win, which team that you root for would you be willing to do that for?
A federal crime right now? Oh man. Sure, I'm not that big on that, but if I had to pick,
He said, "I'm not that big of a fan.
yeah,
That's
I'm
what I'm
not
saying."
that big of a fan, bro. It's
And
not
I
that serious.
exactly, and I just wanted to get that out there of how ridiculous of a question that could possibly even be that you would be so willing to potentially put that at risk in the name of winning, man. I'm just mind blown by this scandal. What are your thoughts as far as how the Big Ten reacts to this? Because we saw the reports that the Big Ten does have precedent to step in and issue a punishment before the NCAA. So the Michigan Wolverines are on a bye week this week. Where are you at as far as what type of punishment you would like to see before the Piss Skunks return to action?
Uh, they're not eligible for Big Ten championship, no matter what.
You're saying that should be the punishment.
Yeah, that should be the punishment. Postseason, you should. There is no way that you go out and you allow this team to continue to have the big logo on their freaking jerseys and represent you. There is no reason. This is a big stain. And like I said, like the biggest word of this is integrity. So how do you protect the integrity? Everybody want to talk about, oh, they should get slaps on the wrist and all of this stuff. But if everybody knows and every coach knows that all you're going to do is give me a slap on the wrist, then everybody should just do it. Right?
Especially if you're able to just run off to the NFL and continue to make millions of dollars and to not impact your career. I saw a lot of Michigan fans get a kick out of my integrity of the game tweet where I talked about how can the Big Ten, the NCAA, better DraftKings, FanDuel, any of these betting entities ensure integrity of the game when you have a scandal like this potentially going on and everybody's like, oh, we care about degenerate gamblers now. I'm like, well, how?
Ohio State had to vacate wins off of guys giving away clothes. That's SMU got the death penalty because they were giving away gifts off the field. Imagine SMU alums right now. We didn't do nothing on the field. We messed with the on the field integrity of the game. We just did the off the field stuff. All these programs, USC with Reggie Bush, he got his Heisman. Nothing was on the field.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely crazy to see where they're at. We talk about integrity of the game. I mean, how do these gambling entities ensure that, like, hey, it's okay to bet on these teams? We saw the graphic of how much Michigan has improved against the spread in the last 3 years. It's just everybody talked about bringing gambling in the sport. Oh, you can't have a team in Las Vegas. What if the mob gets a hold of them? Oh, you're going to have kids betting on games. You're going to have kids throwing games. Everybody talks about bettors being degenerates and no one cares about how this impacts them. How can you? This is the second biggest pot of money around this game. You have TV money and you have this gambling money. And the fact that the money is in question, I mean, you saw reports that sportsbooks may consider pulling Michigan lines. Like, I don't know where Michigan fans have their heads buried, but this is not good, and it's only going to continue to get worse as more information comes out. And at this point, I have no idea how these fans are still trying to spin this, and the level of delusion that, like, even if this was my team, like, I tell you, I say all the time in regards to the Terrell Pryor scandal, my fingers are crossed. I'm so thankful that all we got in trouble with was pants. Like, that man Pryor was living large at Ohio State. And the fact that, like, you know what I mean? We got the tattoos and slap on the wrist. Like, I'm sure that they were doing more. I'm sure that there's teams that do shady shit in recruiting that goes on all the time. But nothing this blatant and egregious. And everybody's like, everyone still signs. If everyone still signs, why have we not heard about this at any other university? We hear all the time that Brett Venables still signs. Did anyone ever tell you that Brett Venables has 20 people flying across the country, going to every game, scouting every playoff team? Have you heard those reports, Mike?
No, I mean,
have you seen video surveillance footage of people sitting in seats paid by Brett Venable assistants and recording the games with their phones? I haven't seen any of this. So if everyone's cheating and everyone does this, show me the other examples. Where are they? I'm having trouble. If everyone does this, I want to know, why haven't we seen any other allegations? Why has no one? I've never seen any other coaches come out and say, "Hey, their team knows exactly what we're doing, and I think they're recording." We have no other allegations of other teams doing this. So how does everyone do this?
Yeah, I mean, when you saw like the RG3s and everybody
I'm sorry, Mike.
initially,
I have to jump right in this. Baylor did it. Baylor got
oh
caught with
God,
assistance at one game, and it was misreported. They weren't even stealing the signs. They were in attendance for the game.
They were
So
drunk,
again,
actually.
continue using this false equivalency and go ahead and think you're getting the Baylor punishment, Brano, 2 times. And I hope you're back in here when you guys actually receive your full punishment.
And also,
because this is going to be so fucking hilarious that you guys are so comfortable and so you guys think that you guys are Teflon right now. And I promise you, bro, we don't call the Big Ten group chat the Ivy League Junior for nothing. They think they are above everyone. And all these years, the Big Ten fans talk about, oh, the SEC is so shady. Look at all the money that they're passing around, and they cheat, and we're above that, and Michigan won't stoop to cheating. The fact that your whole identity is that you're better than the South and won't stoop to cheating, and that you guys have not only created a cheating operation like the likes of the NCAA has never seen, and it could possibly escalate to crimes. What are we talking about? Please seek help. All of you Michigan fans that still think that you guys are getting out of this, good luck, man.
The thing about the Baylor thing is think about when that happened was 2015, 2016, and that's when Baylor was actually competing and was a representative for the Big 12 to try to get into the playoffs. Like, they needed Baylor or whatever. In the Big 10, you don't really need, with the teams coming in, you really don't need that team up north. And again, if you think that the integrity of this game is to be played with, you're about to find out and come to a rude awakening. And the NCAA is also going to make an example. Yes, they move slow, but the Big Ten also, and here's something I think nobody's talking about, which I've been talking about, is I really think the Big Ten can also say, hey, we're going to take a percentage of your TV revenues for this amount of years, and you don't get all of the $100 million. Now you only get like maybe 75, 65. They could do that.
Yeah, I mean, the punishment is going to be interesting, especially because everybody's like, oh, there's no precedent for this. When have we ever seen, and that's the other thing, that people keep acting like we're dealing with like a logical body with a history of just punishments that make sense and a rule of law that you can interpret easily and understand what they're thinking. The Big Ten or the NCAA is a complete crapshoot, and they're trying to do anything to defend and protect their use and why they exist. And you think that as a governing body, they're going to allow a scandal like this to happen? And then on the Big Ten side of things, we are about to elevate the amount of money this conference is earning exponentially with the teams that we're about to add. What does this show to these teams that are about to join a conference and are supposed to be competing with us legally on week in and week out, and we have teams cheating? What are you going to do to ensure that these schools that are entering a conference aren't entering a conference of cheaters and illegitimate games and champions? Like, if you're entering a conference that you're competing for a conference championship in next year, where the past 2 champions are alleged to have cheated to get there, and now you have just now anchored yourself to this conference, and now you're joining. What are you doing to ensure the integrity for these teams that are joining the conference?
So, we were joking about, it's just funny because we literally were only joking a couple days ago saying, hey, they didn't scout TCU, and that's why it looked like that and all of this stuff. But then, boom, Pete Thamel drops a bombshell on us and says, hey, he bought tickets on the West Coast. He bought tickets to Tennessee. This guy bought tickets down in the SEC. Like, you're talking about all college football. Like, you didn't just piss off the Big Ten schools. Now you have pissed off every freaking school in college football.
Hey, Mike, real quick, we got to walk through this because, I mean, these Michigan guys, these Michigan men, they're so fucking smart.
Oh,
They're so
man.
fucking smart. I saw no reports of that. I saw he bought tickets, which is not illegal. If the university funded the activities, it is illegal. Who pays his fucking salary, Mike?
Bro.
Who pays his salary, Mike?
The team up north, the athletic department.
Who is he an employee of?
The team up north.
Like they fucking funded it. That is illegal. It's crazy that a fan base that purports themselves to be so fucking smart is so stupid. It's the level of denial and lunacy within that fan base is absurd to me. And it's honestly becoming fucking laughable.
The whole recruiting department, the jobs are online. You can go apply to be like somebody's getting fired. It was, and then
not
like
somebody, multiple people.
Yeah, multiple people.
Recruiting department.
And then you're hearing, job openings right and it's kind of funny because that came out after we heard rumors. Recruiting department. We just heard these rumors, and then all of a sudden, now these jobs are being posted online.
It's crazy, man.
And it's just crazy to me. These fans, like, bro, I really don't want to waste my time with them, Ron, because it's just like when there's smoke, like there's obviously a fire, and they can't see it. And it's kind of funny because let's just go off of how hypocritical they are, just like their coach. They said Mel Tucker needed to be fired or whatever because of a morality clause, right? Is there no morality clause in Jim Harbaugh's contract? They said Urban Meyer had to take responsibility for the person on his staff. Does Jim Harbaugh all of a sudden not need to take responsibility for the person that was on his staff? Come on, Team Up North fans. Y'all can't be this dumb. Come on, man.
Our guy Tyler in here is cooking. He said it's pure ignorance and lack of common sense. And the common sense part is the reason why I put this chat on the screen. I put out a tweet last week, right when the Michigan State stuff broke, and they said that Michigan asked the Big Ten, do they have to play the game? And I tweeted that out. If you don't think this is a big deal, you're not paying attention, because the second that Michigan State asked that question, I promise you, and everybody's like, where's the sources on this? If you think that Michigan State inquired about not playing the game and NBC wasn't notified that their primetime game may be in question because Michigan was cheating, you have to be kidding me. Like, everybody's like, where's your sources? My source is common fucking sense. You think with this much money on the line in a game potentially being in jeopardy for any reason that the NBC wasn't notified in any way that something is going on, you're fucking high. And everybody's like, sources. I'm like, fuck these sources. Use your fucking head. I don't need sources to know that when there's millions of dollars on the line in the primetime game at NBC, one of the teams is inquiring about not fucking playing. I would imagine their largest business partner was contacted. I don't need a fucking source for that. I have a brain. Like, it's insane the amount of delusion that this fan base has that they will not fucking accept what is going on. And it's honestly laughable at this point.
Yeah, Ron. I honestly, I kind of want to take a serious approach to this, because you see their fans making jokes, laughing about this and stuff. But Ron, we ran spaces for a very long time, and we've even had recruits, commits in there, guys who even committed to other teams who talked to us. And they said, if you think that us recruits don't see what the fans are saying, you're crazy. And all of these jokes and all of this denial and everything, what you're showing these recruits and these players is you don't care about their future. You don't care about their mentality. Do you know that there are some of these kids coming to these programs who already have trust issues, who already have abandonment issues, and now you just put all your trust into these coaches and they lied to you? They lied about the integrity of the game. Look at what they have now done to you. And your future could be impacted by this. And you don't want to take this serious. Y'all think this is just a game and this isn't serious? Keep showing the recruits this, people. Keep showing the players this because that's who's really impacted by this. You think that this is a game and it's not.
It's so funny that you bring up recruits because my buddy was just here watching the Penn State game and he asked, how does Michigan keep doing this with 3 stars? And we have the answer. They're fucking cheating. That's why no one else is doing this with 3 stars. They're fucking cheating. And it's crazy that after you look back at the COVID season where they went 2-4, his job was on the line. Ryan Day is talking about scoring 100 points, and then magically they turn into this new program. And the funny thing is that they tried to even push the bullshit that no one on the sidelines knew. Like we look at the sidelines and we have this intern or low-level staffer talking to the coordinator in between plays, and I like think about that right now. Imagine and here we'll go through this. How many people that aren't on headset while Ohio State is on offense, that is not a player or one of the 10 assistants, can talk to Ryan in between plays?
None, bro.
Let me know in the chat. There's 80 plus, I would imagine at least 70, 60 people in here are Buckeye fans. You have the 10 assistants and the people that are on headset and players. Outside of those people, who do you think can talk to Ryan Day in between plays?
There's only one, the get back coach. Whoever the get back guy is. That's it.
And we don't even have one. We just got a fucking penalty for that 2 weeks ago.
No, we got one now. He was doing his job the next game.
Man, Ryan Day was out on the fucking field doing the cha-cha slide at the 50. I'm like, my nigga, back up. Jesus Christ.
I think they replaced the other guy. Yeah, they had somebody better for the next couple games. Yeah.
Our guy Dylan here. Berm said today he's never seen a low-level recruiting staffer on the sidelines by the coaches. They're always with recruits.
I mean, that's your job. That's what I was confused of because most of the time you have your job, you're on offense, you're on defense. This dude was doing both. And that's my thing. Like, if his job was to steal signals, then say that was his job. But also, like, what he was doing, sending guys, and I mean, to be honest, bro, they literally, like, I kind of wish that this story didn't come out because they had already informed Penn State and Ohio State before the game that those people had tickets and they were waiting on them to show up. I really wish that they had caught them because those 2 seats were empty for the whole game because those people did not show up.
Have a chat that I want to get to here. Oh, yeah, our guy Goj. Jim Harbaugh will be coaching at Akron or Colgate in 3 years. His only options. I talked to Chris Drew. Akron said not a take. Sorry. Akron is not taking Jim Harbaugh.
Nobody in Ohio.
All I know is, man, this has been glorious to watch, and I'm shameless in my joy for the downfall of Michigan. Let them, I hope they vacate them wins. I will shamelessly reset the clock. After we get off this call, I'm going to be going domain shopping to find a new Ohio State, Michigan clock domain to restart it and put the right amount of fucking time since the last time they beat us without cheating, because this is fucking ridiculous. I can't wait for more information to come out. I will be tuned in. And one thing that I want to touch on before we get out of here. Yeah. There's only one person in that Michigan fan base, in that Michigan beat that covers that team that I trust to give the real and not carry the water for Michigan and actually breaks news and has credible fucking sources. And that is James Yoder. And if you take a look at that man's Twitter, he has done nothing but lean into these jokes and make a mockery of what is going on. And if your boy Yoder, who's the most credible person, when you guys can either follow Scam Web or read the tea leaves of Yoder's Twitter of just jokes and not talking about how they're dismissing this as all a load of crap of bullshit. Because if it was a bunch of junk and Michigan was about to skate, I promise you that would be the person that had it or would be diving in front of the bullet. And he is not. So if you want to learn anything from this, follow Yoder's page because he's the only person that keeps it real with y'all. Scam Web is going to pump sunshine up your ass the rest of this investigation until everyone is seeing rainbows. And I'm not here for it. If if you guys were innocent, Yoder would have already put it out there now, and he's leaning into these jokes. Your almighty Presidente, Dave Portnoy crying like a sunbathed lobster every day, just crying on his timeline with no evidence to say or proof to refute what is being alleged. I think they're cooked, and I just can't wait for more and more information to come out. And I just want to get your thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, my final thoughts is what Sue said. I want to throw this up here, man. Everybody owes CJ Stroud an apology. I mean, I think the college football community owes CJ Stroud an apology. I think Desmond Howard definitely owes him another apology as well. You're talking about 2 games that this man played in that rode on his Heisman campaign, and everyone said if he had won that game 2 years, he'd have had a Heisman. And now look at this. You're talking about CJ's mom, who went out of the way to say nothing but great things about Jim Harbaugh and how nice of a guy he was and how respectful he was. And that was just a big slap in the face because the guy's just nothing but a con man. You conned CJ Stroud, you conned his mom. There was nothing nice or respectful about that, man. CJ Stroud, you deserve all your flowers. It's kind of crazy how you're cooking up people in the NFL like crazy, but we as fans and people and coaches could not see that something was going wrong. So, CJ, keep being great, man.
Absolutely, man. It's just the most frustrating thing about this is that a fan base that thinks they're so morally superior to everyone is going down in flames like that. Like, I mean, I admit that I'm a piece of shit. I don't get out here and grandstand like I'm some morally upstanding person, and that being an Ohio State fan or getting accepted to Ohio State makes me better than anyone. So the fact that they live on this idea that they are so much better than thou, and now they're having to eat shit in this situation, I couldn't wish this for any more deserving fan base than the Michigan Wolverines. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this. 93 people in here. Man, everyone must hate the piss skunks that they're tuning in to this scandal. I appreciate all you guys tapping in with us. Smash that like button. It helps us so much. I can't believe it's been this long since we finally talked about this scandal. We've been on Bleacher Report and really haven't dove into it too much. I know we didn't get into it on Buckeye BS that much or the Voice of College Football. So, this is our first time really diving in. And I promise you, hey, sorry, old Ben, we don't do James Yoder slander around here. Yoder's our guy. But, yeah, man, I'm just glad that we got a chance to talk about it. And I promise you, we are going to be talking about this more regularly. And, man, as our guy Mela said, don't read into the chat and explore some of the names that you saw brought up here. And I promise you, you're going to see a whole can of worms that is yet to be opened yet. So, man, this is going to be super exciting to follow. Good thing Michigan is on a bye week. Honestly, this probably screwed them. The fact that it came out now and the NCAA has 2 weeks to respond and come up with a punishment, or the Big Ten has time to gather evidence before they play another football game. And I'll let you guys know now, your boy is praying Jim Harbaugh coached his last game. And if they cancel your season, I'll be doing the Dougie on your grave. I promise. Exactly, Mike.
Really
let
them
know. Let them know. Let these people know where they can find you for more T-Ton jokes, because I promise you, we will be on their ass the rest of this investigation.
Yeah, you can catch me tonight. I'll be on the Fans Edge tonight right here on this platform, Best Damn Media, at 7:30 Eastern. You can also catch me on Twitter at 216_wildboy. And I'll probably be joining the pregame this Saturday with Ron James, Chris. Forget game day, forget the pageantry, man. Come hang out with some real guys, talking some real ball right here on Best Damn Media, and then our flagship show Sunday at 10 a.m. man.
Yeah, man, you guys got to tap in with us Saturday mornings. All the best parts of College Game Day end up on your timeline anyways. Tune in with us for the best damn college football pregame show every Saturday morning at 10. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2Ts. That's 2_TEES. Be on Bleacher Report tomorrow with Chris Drew. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah. We'll be on Bleacher Report tomorrow at 4:30, so tap in with me and Chris Drew. The Fans Edge tonight with Mike, Cam, and Diz, talking all things national college football pregame show on Saturday, and of course, the flagship Buckeye BS with me, Mike, Cam, and Q on Sundays at 10 a.m. And of course, the Buckeye Roast right here every morning. I say 8 a.m. I couldn't tell you the last time that we did a show at 8 a.m. It's usually 8:15. Today it's 9:45 because things were crazy at work. But man, look at these numbers. Maybe we need to push the show back. I got to talk to my boss about that. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys tuning into the Buckeye Roast, and we will be back tomorrow. Make sure you're here tonight for the Fans Edge. Appreciate you guys.
When my